In the previous video, we discussed about different text styling properties. Now let's move on and learn about different types of CSS. There are three types of CSS: inline, internal and external CSS. Let's start with inline CSS. In inline CSS, we apply styles directly to an HTML element using style attribute in the opening tag of an element. This is the syntax to use attribute, which we have discussed in our previous videos. In the place of attribute, we write our attribute's name which we are using. This is how we write inline CSS inside the opening tag of an element. But remember, inline CSS applies only to that one element. We can't reuse it anywhere else. So inline CSS is good for small and quick changes, but not for larger projects. Now let's move to internal CSS. Internal CSS is written inside the style tag, which is placed in the head section of the HTML document. Using internal CSS, we can style multiple elements on the same HTML page. See here, inside head section, we opened style tag and written our required CSS. I gave heading as the name of our selector and used color property and its value, then closed style tag. Internal CSS can be applied to a single HTML document. It cannot be applied to multiple HTML documents. Let's move to the last one, external CSS. While styling our web page, we used this external CSS. This external CSS is the most commonly used and the most professional approach. In external CSS, we write all our CSS code in a separate CSS file and then we will link it to our HTML file using link tag inside the head section, as we have done in our previous videos. This is how we will link our CSS file to the HTML file. Here we give our CSS file name as the value for href. This is the code we have written in our previous videos. First, let's discuss about external CSS, because we used this type of CSS to apply CSS to our web page. Now just observe what we have done in our previous videos. We created a separate CSS file and written our CSS and linked this CSS file to HTML file using link. Now let's discuss about inline CSS. To write inline CSS, first remove external CSS. I am removing all these which we used to apply external CSS. Now let's apply inline CSS to heading element. To apply inline CSS, we use style attribute. In the value, we have to write the property we are using. I am using color colon. I am giving blue as value. This property value pair should be followed by semicolon. If you want to apply another style, we can write here. Let's run the code. See, the color of our heading is changed to blue with the help of inline CSS. Let's write CSS to paragraph element. Use style attribute. I am using color property, giving red as value, as well as apply CSS to button element. Style attribute. Here I am using background color property. I am giving its value as green followed by semicolon. Then we can write another style if you want. To change the text of the button, I am using color property and giving white as a value. For button, we used two styles. In this way, we can write multiple styles in the opening tag of an element. Let's run the code. We got our required output with the help of inline CSS. With the same energy, let's learn to apply internal CSS. So remove all this inline CSS. To apply internal CSS, what we have to do? We have to open a style tag inside head section. Automatically closing tag will be created. In this, we can write our required CSS as we have written in the external CSS. Start with the dot, give a selector name. I am giving heading, open flower braces, enter. I am using color property and giving blue as value. Let's apply this CSS in the same way how we applied our external CSS. The opening tag of heading, use class attribute and its value is our selector name. Let's run the code. See, color of our heading is changed to blue. In the similar way, apply CSS to paragraph and button element. Dot, giving paragraph as our selector name, using color property, giving red as value, as well as write CSS for button. Dot button, background color, giving green as background, using color property and giving white as value. Let's apply this to HTML elements. Class its value is our selector name. What is our selector name? Paragraph. Applying CSS to button class, giving selector name as value. Our selector name is button. In the code, yeah, we got our required output with the help of internal CSS. But this internal CSS can be applied to the single HTML document. It cannot be used in another HTML document. And the last one, external CSS, we have discussed about it before inline and internal CSS.